Emma and Jake had finally done it. After years of saving, planning, and dreaming, they bought their first home in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Texas. The streets were clean, the houses were beautiful, and everything looked perfect. It felt like the beginning of a peaceful new life. As the moving truck unloaded their boxes, Emma smiled and said, "This is exactly how I imagined our dream home." Jake nodded, unaware that their biggest challenge wasn't the house. It was the system that came with it. On their first evening, a thick envelope was placed at their doorstep. Inside was a welcome letter from the Sunset Valley Homeowners Association. It wasn't just a welcome letter. It was 32 pages of rules, policies, and restrictions. From lawn height to mailbox color, everything was controlled. Emma laughed softly and said, "Who even reads all of this?" Jake shrugged and signed the documents without thinking twice. They believed rules like these were just formalities. But that small decision would soon cost them hundreds of dollars. 2 weeks later, Jake opened his email and froze. Subject line: violation notice, lawn height, fine $50. Confused, he stepped outside and looked at the lawn. It looked normal, maybe just slightly taller than usual. He replied politely, promising to mow the lawn the next day. But the HOA didn't respond. Instead, another notice arrived the very next morning. This time, the fine had doubled. Jake immediately cut the grass. He even measured it carefully to match the HOA guidelines. Every corner was trimmed perfectly. Every edge was clean. Emma felt relieved, believing the problem was finally over. But the next morning, another letter arrived. Violation: uneven cutting pattern. Fine: $250. That's when confusion turned into frustration, and frustration slowly turned into suspicion. One afternoon, a black SUV stopped in front of their house. A strict woman stepped out, holding a clipboard and wearing dark sunglasses. She introduced herself as the HOA president. Without a smile, without a greeting, she inspected the lawn like an officer on duty. Jake calmly explained that he had already fixed everything, but her response was cold and direct. Community standards must be maintained. Another fine was issued, and this time it felt personal. Days passed and the letters kept coming.
$50.
$100. $200. Then $500. Each notice listed a new violation: grass height, lawn pattern, maintenance standards. No matter what they fixed, another problem appeared. Their dream home was slowly becoming a financial trap. Emma began to wonder, are they targeting us? That night, Emma opened her laptop and started researching HOA laws across the United States. She read stories of strict associations, legal disputes, and unfair fines. But then she discovered something important. According to the bylaws, every violation must include clear photographic proof. Emma quickly checked all their notices. Not a single photo was attached. That discovery changed everything. For the first time, they realized this might not be about the lawn at all. The next day, Jake installed a security camera facing their front yard. Every detail was recorded. Every day, every angle. They documented the lawn condition, timestamps, and maintenance routine. 3 days later, another violation notice arrived. Reason: improper lawn maintenance. Fine: $500. But this time, Jake didn't panic. He smiled, because now they finally had proof. Emma and Jake attended the monthly HOA meeting at the community clubhouse. The room was silent. Neighbors sat quietly, avoiding eye contact. When their turn came, Emma stood up calmly and requested proof for every fine issued. The board looked surprised. Jake connected his laptop to the projector. And then, the footage played. Clear video evidence showed a perfectly maintained lawn on every alleged violation date. The silence in the room became heavy. Suddenly, a neighbor stood up. Then another, and another. One by one, residents began sharing their experiences. Unfair fines. Unclear violations. Repeated penalties without evidence. It was no longer just Emma and Jake's problem. It was a pattern, and the entire community was starting to realize it. Emma decided to post their evidence online. Within days, the story spread across social media. Thousands of people reacted. Comments, shares, and discussions exploded. Local media picked up the story. Legal experts started asking questions. What began as a simple lawn fine had now turned into a viral controversy. Under public pressure and legal review, the HOA was forced to cancel the unfair fines. New transparency rules were introduced, and the strict leadership finally stepped down. Peace slowly returned to the neighborhood. One quiet morning, Emma and Jake sat on their porch, looking at their perfectly trimmed lawn. Emma smiled and said, "We just wanted a peaceful home." Jake replied, "And we got a battle instead." But in the end, the lawn that started a fine ended a system of unfair control.